So you just loaded into the Elder Scrolls Online and now you can't wait to get out there and fight some bosses, slay some dragons, and tackle some group content. But you notice that your UI looks completely different from some of those streamers you've seen or maybe those YouTube videos that you watched. Well, don't worry, because this video is here to help you with getting those simple, yet sometimes difficult to find settings in order. In this video, I'm going to be covering some of the settings that I believe are the most important to have right away to help your gameplay or just make things easier for you while playing. These are just my opinions, but I'd love to hear your favorite settings in the comments. Oh, and for the sake of my console friends, I won't be including any add-ons, just base game settings. Alright, so we're loading in now on our new tune that we've created so I can show you what this looks like from scratch. First thing you'll want to do is head straight into those settings. The first two tabs are video and audio. And we're not going to be touching those today, but we will be heading straight into the gameplay tab. Under combat, they have what they call combat cues. As you can see, friendly AoEs will be default green. However, the default for enemy color is a dull red. Since I changed this already on a different tune, it's saved, but I do recommend changing the enemy AoE color from the default to a brighter color. I personally use a bright pink, but I have seen people use yellow, bright blue, and even white. Basically, any color that will be easy for you to keep yourself out of those bad AoEs. Next, we're going to go down to the setting that says Quick Cast Ground Abilities, and we're going to switch that to on. What that's going to do is when you go to activate a skill that casts on the ground, instead of having to click it twice to confirm its location, you only have to click it once to throw it down. Moving down the gameplay tab, we're headed into items, where we're going to make sure that consolidate area loot is on, which will mean when you kill several enemies, instead of having to loot each individual corpse, you can loot them all at once. I personally also like to run auto loot. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but I want to loot and move on while I'm playing, and I'll go through everything later. Next tab of interest will be the interface tab, and this specific setting is just for my PC peeps, the display name. I recommend using prefer user ID so you can see the actual name of the players instead of their individual character name. Now this next setting is something they changed not too long ago, but automatic quest tracking is not default anymore. What that does whenever it's on is when you accept a quest, it will automatically make that your priority quest. The next tab is the nameplate tab. Now I personally don't really care for nameplates. It's just too much all over my screen. I'm not a fan of it. But if that's your thing, you can turn that stuff on here in this tab. Moving on to the combat tab, this really is the meat and potatoes of your base game UI settings. First up is ability bar. If you want to be able to see your skill bar, then you want to switch that setting to always show so you can see your skills. Next, ability bar timers you want on. This will be a little timer for any skill that has a duration, so you can see how much time is left until you need to reapply that skill. Ability back bar timer is the same thing, but instead of the numbers ticking down, you'll see a little line that is running out representing the time left on that skill on your back bar. Attribute bars is going to be your health, magicka, and stamina bars. You'll want that switch to always show so you can readily see your resources. Resource number will come default as off, but I believe this one is crucial. I recommend setting it to number and percent, which will do a couple things. First, it'll show you the actual number of resources you have along with the percentage. But wait, there's more! It also shows the HP number and the percentage health left of the enemies that you fight. Moving on to ultimate number, you want that switched on so you can see your ultimate number during a fight and know how close you are to be able to use your ultimate. Next up is buffs and debuffs. I personally think it's beneficial to have all buffs and debuffs switched to always show. I think it's a huge help for keeping up with things like your food buff or knowing when you have a bleed on you. And once you start learning the different buff icons, you could quickly glance down and see if your group has a certain buff, like Major Force for example, and you can know when to proc it for your group. And the final setting that I'm going to recommend is for all my fellow Arcanists out there, is under the accessibility tab, and it's called the Arcanist Aim Assist. And boy oh boy, I was skeptical at first about this one, but once I tried it, I could never go back. The Arcanist beam has an aim assist. The issue is that when you're trying to switch targets or move your beam for better cleave, the aim assist actually makes the movement feel choppy or restricted. With it off, the movement feels much smoother. I'd recommend moving that slider all the way down to 0. Well, that's my recommendations for the best settings in the Elder Scrolls Online. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope this video helped you out. If you want to check me out live, I'm live on Twitch at twitch.tv/DrewYouOut, Sunday through Thursday, 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. Central Time. Thank you so much for watching, y'all. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace!